Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions podcast. And I'm grateful for you guys to be listening and tuned in on the podcast, man. It's been an amazing journey listening to feedback and just hearing others, give me compliments about the past episodes and how much they've been learning and just listening to my podcast and how motivated and inspired they are, man. I'm always bouncing that energy off for myself in order to continue to motivate myself to be consistent in this industry and in this space. But it's 12:04 a.m., man. It's Sunday, 12:04 a.m. And I was supposed to already drop another podcast after, exhaust all your options. But I tell people all the time, like, I don't drop podcasts like other people do. People oversaturate the podcasting market, and I feel like the listeners and people who listen to my podcast are specifically relatable to me. Because, like I told you guys, I had my heart broken. I told you guys I lost a sister of mine who fell ill to drugs. I came from an environment that I've seen so many killings and drug abuse already, and I came from rags to I'm getting into the riches. But what I'm saying is I'm in that transition stage where I've seen a lot already transpire in my life that I came from, and I'm not going back to those certain things that ruined me. I'm not going to those certain environments that kind of, tried to mold me into a statistic. I'm not going back to those places or people or things. But what I'm saying is you always have to give God gratitude. That's why this podcast is going to be called Give Gratitude, because when you give gratitude, gratitude opens doors. Gratitude opens doors that me and you can't even fathom that will be open through connections or networking. When you give grace, when you give gratitude for the things you already have, it's only showing God or whoever you pray to, it's only showing them that you're more and deserving of more things. When I didn't have much, I used to sleep on an air mattress in a room size of my bathroom. I'm telling you guys this from the bottom of my heart. I used to pray around like 1, 2 a.m. and tell God, listen, I'm grateful because I'm still having money in my account. I was renting this room out, but I had enough money to pay for this room for a year. But I was living in this room on the air mattress, saving up this money because I had to make a transition to Atlanta. And, Atlanta rent is not what you call light work. This is real work out here. So I'm always thinking about what's the next step in life. I'm always thinking about what could come about the things I already have, come about the things I need. And that's only being grateful for the things I already have. Because if you think about it, a lot of people, they fail to realize that you're only going to make space for things that want to come in if you appreciate the things that are already there. When I used to constantly bicker in the past about like this bullshit, like this, man, I want this, man, I want that, and I used to have everything everybody else wanted in my face. I never appreciated, what was there, and you're not going to appreciate things until you no longer have it. Whether that's a car, a phone that let's just say you had the iPhone 13 and you broke the phone and your plan don't let you upgrade, and now you got to really go buy a phone and you only can afford like a 8 or a 7. You're like, damn, what? You feel me? Like, damn. Or you was making all this money at the job and the job all of a sudden is shut down. But you was splurging the money. That job made you grateful. The money you had coming in made you grateful for the money you have now, because now you're saving every dollar to make sure you have everything set in stone. But when you give gratitude for the things that you already have, thank you, God, for the apartment. Thank you, God, for certain things that I have that other people don't have. Thank God for making way for me when I don't see any way. These are things that's going to allow more blessings and more abundance to come to your life. So when I speak to you guys on this podcast and I put out manifestations of myself, like Moise is going to be a very rich man. Moise is very independent and free. I'm speaking these things not only to myself, but for you guys to also listen. Like you need to say stuff to you need to say stuff like that to yourself every day and listen to it and be a product of it. Because I constantly used to think about being the best version of myself when I really was just showing up a little bit late. I was already the best version of myself. But since I wasn't great in giving gratitude, I delayed a lot of processes. I delayed a lot of blessings from coming into my life because I didn't really understand the extent. I was gonna make up a whole new word. I was like, nah, not on this podcast. The extent of just saying thank you, of being grateful for the little things, waking up in the morning, a car being driven, gas in your car, food in your refrigerator. Even though if it's not much, it's still something. Because when I was living in a small apartment, small room, smaller than my bathroom, I didn't have no food. I had to eat ramen noodles for 4 months straight. Did you know how much sodium I consumed? I had to keep drinking water to flush it. And then I'll eat some bread to hold myself up, and I was literally using different methods to save money because I knew what it was. I already knew how it was going to play out. Okay, if I'm not saving money, I'm blowing the money. If I'm not blowing the money on things that's going to return back money to me, now that money's gone forever. So I have to be grateful for even having money in the first place. Because people don't even start off with money in this process. So you guys see what I'm saying? Like, if you have an ability to talk about things that other people don't have the opportunity to talk about, going to school, man, I'm failing this class. Some people can't even get into school. You got to be grateful for that. You got to be grateful that teacher gave you a C and not an F, so you don't got to retake that class. Fuck that. Yeah, you might hurt, but that class was a hellhole to your mental. Yeah, it was the hardest class on campus. You passed it with a C, but you didn't have to retake it over. You feel me? Like, is there certain things that people overlook that they don't really understand? Like, damn, this is, that really could change my life if I be a little bit more lenient and saying thank you and being grateful for little things like that. I was laughing because, and I'm always laughing and shit like that when I'm by myself because I kind of like rethink about certain situations that happened in my past. And I was having a conversation with this young lady, man. Shout out to her. We had a great conversation, and she was just letting me know, like, she came from the suburbs, and I was letting her know, like, hey, I didn't come from the suburbs, but I'm grateful from where I am now. I'm grateful now because about a minute ago, I was always praying to God for an apartment where I stay at in Atlanta. And I didn't know what direction to turn. You feel me? Like, I didn't know what to really anticipate. But I was always being grateful for the things that I had in the midst of the moment of obstacles and adversity and just little things that will make a normal person be like, man, this ain't for me. Like, entrepreneurship will really do that to you. It will eat you up and spit you out. It did it to me a few times, but I keep getting it back up. To a normal person who isn't really cut like that, they might just be like, man, fuck this. Let me go get me a damn job. But I'm grateful I'm able to experience hardships because it's teaching me lessons and experience. I could sit down with my nieces. I was sitting down with my nieces. I actually called my nieces like today. I think it was today or yesterday. And I was letting them know, listen, like, you guys have to be responsible and accountable for each and last one of each other. It's 3 of y'all, 3 sisters. Y'all have to be responsible for each other. If she's doing bad in one area, you got to piggyback and take care of that area for her and help her. If you know she's slacking in this area, help her. Because I didn't have siblings like that growing up. Like, I had an older sister, but we didn't really take accountability for things. And I'm grateful I have the experience and the knowledge now from a business owner to tell my nieces, like, bro, listen, do good in school. Just try your best. Because I feel like growing up, we had so much peer pressure on being perfect. Like, I was a good-ass student. Like, I was just a good student. but I was really a genius. You feel me? Like, I knew I was a genius because them folks was looking at me like I knew I was different when the teacher thought I cheated on my test. A few teachers thought I cheated on my test, and a few teachers thought I plagiarized some essays. Now, if you know me, I already know how to talk. So I feel as if like that was just a slap to the face. Like, oh, you can't speak like this for real on paper. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I would create madness on this paper. You feel me? Like, I will go fucking crazy on this paper, and you think I really can't write like this. So I was just grateful that I had experiences like that growing up because I seen that certain things were against me, but I never looked at it like a opposition. I looked at it like a learning lesson. And I actually took compliment when a lot of teachers thought I cheated because I was like, I feel really good because I didn't cheat. That was in middle school and high school. All right? College, it's a different story. I ain't gonna cat to you. But I didn't know nothing about cheating before college because we couldn't cheat. Like, it was so, you can't cheat really unless you really on that shit. Like, it's not gonna make no sense because if you really take yourself and make yourself a cheater, you're forever going to be a cheater. Like, so I had to really tell myself, like, let me really study this information just in case I don't know shit on this test, then I could cheat. But that was never middle school or high school. I had to make sure I took advantage of researching everything. So I really took pride in, like, being grateful for the little things that I experienced. I experienced racism. I experienced a lot of things that a lot of people may not have experienced. And I may not want to say that in a way where, haha, you didn't get to experience it. It's not a good feeling. But I'm grateful I know how to move about certain situations now. I'm grateful I identified certain situations. I'm grateful I know how things could go about because so many situations in my past I could have been locked up for. I could have been thrown in prison for. I could have been a lot of shit, you guys. Like, you guys don't really know. Like, I lived a life before becoming business, the person I am now. And, I sit back and I'm always grateful for that because I came from the trenches. I came from the hood. I came from an apartment that was smaller than half of my living room right now of my apartment. And I had to share that bathroom with myself, of course. I said share, but that bathroom was in my room, but the whole living room and everything was shared with my roommates, and I didn't have the comfort of just doing everything on my own. And I sometimes look back and I'm like, I'm grateful for that because at one point I didn't even have anything to show for all the hard work I was doing. I'm grateful for living life that a lot of people can't live. I'm grateful for doing things that a lot of people wish they could do. I'm just grateful for that. I'm not talking shit. I'm not popping no shit. I'm just telling people some real shit. Like, we got to think about everything that's happening to us, right? If I want to be the best person ever, I have to realize that I'm only going to do what I know. But what if the things I know take me to new levels of success? Don't I have to be grateful for a higher knowledge and higher being for giving me certain strengths and certain attributes to myself? Then that's all it is. Like, just be grateful. Women want to feel appreciated when you do things for them, when they do things for you. And men just the same way. Once you see somebody be grateful and appreciated for the little things you already give them, imagine how much more you would give them. If you give your girl $20, right, and you say, babe, this is all I have. She say, babe, I really appreciate it because, to be real, I don't get paid till next week, and this is going to do good for me. I appreciate you. And she do it with sincerity, and that's your last dub for real, and you can't eat now? My God, that will make you only motivate you. I'm not putting nobody in this predicament to be like, why is he in a predicament? He only got $20 and she got $20. They don't supposed to be dating. It's not the fact that, it's the fact that I'm giving you guys an analogy. It could be a whole different type of concept. But the fact that is she showed him appreciation and now he's motivated to go get more money to never be in that predicament again. Now he wants to give her more because she showed him appreciation. And it's the same thing. You show God appreciation for the little things. God, I'm grateful for this phone because shit, I remember I couldn't even afford a phone. I'm grateful I got a MacBook because at one point I was using the fucked up Dell and Lenovo, and that shit was catching viruses and all type of shit. I couldn't watch no videos. It's like little stuff you got to be grateful for. You feel me? So I'm only telling you guys not to come down on you guys. Like I'm always saying, I'm never coming down on you guys. But I always want you guys to just take perspectives and run with it. Take what I'm saying and apply it. I'm not telling you guys to take everything I'm saying. I'm not saying everything I'm saying is true. I'm not saying everything I'm saying is false. But I'm saying everything is an opinion that I feel like could be justified by not only my actions, but by me giving other people the same advice that their life became a reflection of the things I say. Work hard. You eat good at the end. I told a lot of people work hard. I give them the sauce to a lot of things, gave them resources. They got businesses, bro. Like I have so many friends of mine who have businesses and they're like, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. My homeboy mom, right? I had Thanksgiving with them. And she sat me down. She was like, listen, I really appreciate what you did for my son because I'm seeing the growth of knowledge, wisdom, and patience starting to come into his life. And I know the only reason it's starting to be like this is because he started hanging around with you and he talks about you all the time. And I sit back and I'm like, damn, like people really be talking about me in a good way. But I expect that, And I had to sit back and I'm like, God, I'm grateful because my words makes a difference. My voice makes a change. When I tell people like I didn't have it all growing up, like I never really had a Thanksgiving with my family. We never did, we never will. Is this something we just never really did? And it kind of hurts, sometimes that you see other families come together and families and cousins, aunties, and they all have a grand ball and it's like your family just send a text and it's like, that hurts people. So I'm grateful when I'm able to spend time with other people's family and I'm seeing how a family supposed to be ran. Because there's no rules to how a family's supposed to be ran, but I see how other people's families are ran that I want to emulate. And I'm grateful I'm being invited to their homes because these aren't people who are living in bad neighborhoods. These are people who are living in, making well over 6 figures and just living life to the fullest. And I'm able to see the comfort of love, money, and fulfillment in their lives. And I'm able to come into alignment with that because I understand I'm in alignment with that. That's why these things are coming into my face and I'm seeing this. So I'm grateful for little experiences like that. And I'm grateful when I'm able to pick up the phone and tell people, listen, I love you, bro. Like, we may not have talked, but this is what we doing. This is how I feel about you. Like, it's all love. You my brother, we do this and that. You my girl, you feel me? You my sis. Like, you feel me? Like, once I consider you somebody real to me, I'm grateful for you because now a lot of people have opportunities to even have friends. Some people don't even have friends. I have people who care about me. I have supporters. I have fans. I have people who are willing to go against the world with me. For me. And I'm grateful for that. So at the end of the day, like I said, I appreciate you guys for listening to Roll the Business Podcast. Like I said, try being a little bit more grateful in your daily activities. Little things where you just sit back and you just reflect like, damn, I used to have a fucked up car and I could drive a Beamer and shit down the street fast as fuck. You feel me? Like, think about little stuff like that. Like, you got a Infiniti, you got a truck, whatever car you got, Lambo, whatever you got. Think about the times where you were taking the MARTA or the Metro and just taking the bus and the transit back and forth. Think about those things and be grateful, man, because a lot of people don't come from that. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to step foot into a new vehicle, let alone be able to go get one. So I appreciate you guys for listening to Roll the Business Podcast. It's been an amazing journey, man. Like I've been telling you guys for the longest, I'm constantly going to give you guys the knowledge that I have. It's abundant. It's free. Shit, fuck it. If you guys have something to tell me, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, leave rates and reviews. Let everybody know the podcast is going up. Listen, 2023 is a few days away, baby. Let's not get complacent. Let's do it. Appreciate you guys once again. Take care.